What's going on, guys? We are Tottenham TV here. We have beaten West Ham 2-1 in the quarter-final of the Carabao Cup, and we are into the semi-finals with what looks like Chelsea, Arsenal, and one of Liverpool, Leicester. At the moment, looks like Leicester are going through. But what a look. It was a nervy end from Spurs. We got 2-1 up at half-time after goals from Lucas and Bergwijn after Bowen had equalised. But we definitely held out. It was a performance where we had to stick together. We had to defend resolutely, and we got the job done at the end of the day.
My sphincter has just released. It was tight. Very tight. My butthole was clenched for at least 25 minutes there. That was just like, Jesus, they really put us through the ringer, right?
They did.
Can't do anything. Can't do anything easy. You know, it looked like at some point, the start of that half, it looked like we're just kind of, floating, like it's all good. And then from like 70 minutes on, they're just all over us. And it's just, but at the end of the day, like Winks comes on, it like locks things down. They start to do everything, just even the little decisions to bring on Tanganga and Emerson, just close it down. Just like get the ball away. Just hold your positions in the press. Really impressed with how we kind of saw out that game. We let them have one chance at the end there.
Which was a deflected shot, which hit the top of the crossbar, so it was barely a chance. But in terms of the game overall, obviously we started with a 3-4-3 formation, which we did end up changing in the second half. But Lucas and Bergwijn heavily involved in both goals, especially Bergwijn as well, who got a goal and assist on the night, and in a really, really impressive display in a game which he had to really show Conte or any potential suitors that the quality he has to get people interested. And it was a big opportunity today, and I think he passed it with flying colours at the end of the day.
He's proved me wrong with that performance. Like, I genuinely hadn't seen it in him. I'd seen like that one amazing little skippy move that he did, against Wolves.
Yeah.
But other than that, I hadn't seen this kind of dominant driving through the centre. I'm holding the ball, no one's going to get it off me. I'm also going to do stuff that's got utility, that's going to bring in my homies around me, like some stuff that's actually useful.
Using his body, holding players up.
Not stuff that's wasteful. That was a beautiful performance from him. I kind of, very seldom when, you see his number go off and he's going up, off the pitch, I'm always like, all right, cool, let's see what else we can get going here. But I didn't want him to go off today. I thought he was really good, So, but I did like the change back to the kind of more solid formation for us, So
game management from Conte. On the hour, he takes off both goal scorers, Lucas and Bergwijn, who were in the first half causing a bit of havoc in the West Ham ranks, but in the second half, either I don't know if it was they lost energy or West Ham were just stepping up a bit, and all of a sudden we were losing control of the game, and he decides to take off Lucas and Bergwijn, puts on Son, and
we almost get a goal straight away. Son, just a bad touch, but that is perfect for him. He should have been putting that away all day long.
Definitely. And it's a continuing theme for Son recently, to be honest.
He had a couple more bad touches after that. I think almost every touch he had for a little while was a bad touch. Some of them were going his way, but they were bad touches. It's like, is this a player who needs maybe like a little bit more of a rest? Is this why we need to bring...
Well, he didn't. Yeah, at least he only had half an hour today as opposed to an hour. He didn't start, which was very positive for me. The fact that a player who relies so heavily for goals in Son didn't start the game, and the players who replaced him in Bergwijn and Lucas really stepped up and got the goals that we needed to win the game. And Kane didn't even have to score.
Yeah. I mean, and sometimes it's like not the world's worst thing if a player's touch is like kind of betraying them for a little bit. It's only been like 2 games, but it was 2 games where the important touches went away from him in goal scoring positions.
Yeah.
So it's strange to see, but still after that, we still managed to kind of just frustrate them. They had a lot of the ball, but we kept them in a certain position in the field. So we kind of locked down the formation, locked down the spaces. I thought Højbjerg was really good in commanding, So I thought there were a lot of good positives there. They're chasing the game.
Yeah.
They have to take the initiative. And we kind of we're probably a little bit more anxious than maybe they were in that situation. It seemed like, one shot at the end, they kind of did have it a bit under control,
Yeah, I feel like as much as, I think, look, the first half, we gave away way too many chances to Souček and Ariel and set pieces. Second half, as much as we... especially in the last 25 minutes, we did give up a lot of the ball, and it was tense at times. Yeah. We did how many saves did Lloris have to make? How many times had they had a shot from the edge of the box from Ben Rama, which flashed wide. That's like not even a half chance. And the shot from Yarmolenko from a similar position takes a big deflection, loose off the top of the crossbar. And that's pretty much all they had in that second half. So I think Conte and the Spurs defence should get a lot of credit for really shutting it down, making sure that they're not finding it easy to break through us. And, when they're throwing the kitchen sink at us, they find it really, really hard to create.
An elite team on, like a full strength, bigger team plays us and start throwing the kitchen sink in it. Do you think we're in trouble that second half?
Potentially. Especially they didn't have Antonio. Yeah. They didn't have, so he's a big player for them who are missing. And without him, if you've got other teams with other players who would be the more threat once they're going forward. So for sure, you have to say we got lucky in that sense. And as well, I think Doherty had a overall a decent game, but he was struggling a bit come the end to really get close to Masuaku and stopping crosses and tracking runners and things like that. So I think a better team might have created more.
When he came on, didn't he? He looked like he did his job perfectly well, moving the ball right, winning tackles, pushing players out, even like not off the ball, just like pushing players out, closing them down, making them think extra heavy.
And his passing was quick and sharp again, and that he looked like again wanted to make a difference. And I think he did. I think actually defensively as well, he was blocking shots, he was getting things out of play, and he did make a big difference coming off the bench. So
more options out from the back as well. He was showing a lot for the ball.
Yeah, now everyone who played today as well, you have to say, like, players who have, not in the team or usually in the team or coming in trying to prove themselves, everyone seems to be on the same page in terms of, like, if you play well, you can play in the first team. Like, doesn't seem to be like under Nuno where there's a first team and a second team. Yeah. It seems right, like after these past 2 games, everyone seems to believe anyway they've got a chance of playing in the next game if they play well today.
Yeah, a bit more of a squad mentality. Yeah.
That's what it seems. Everyone seems to be coming on and contributing in their own way. And that's the most positive thing. That's what I like to see. And it was, I think we kept West Ham quiet for the majority of the game in terms of chances created, especially in the second half. So I think tactically it was pretty good game management from Conte. I'll just think probably in those last 25 minutes, apart from that one chance from Son, which he takes a bad touch, he might have wanted to hurt them a bit more on the counter, which I think we failed to do, and maybe we gave them a bit too much control.
That defence as well, I thought they were kind of wide open in times. Some of the stuff we did in the first half, I thought they were dead open for it in the second half, especially they started to commit more, so there was bigger holes.
And Rice who was I thought brilliant on the day. I thought he was brilliant, and we did struggle to contain him for large parts of the game. So that's something we've got to work on for sure.
Do you think Conte, looking at that performance, we've got through it, but at times looking shaky in certain areas? Do you think he's looking at that going, we really do need to strengthen?
Definitely. I think he's literally getting every ounce of ability out of these players right now. Like, he's literally getting these defenders to play at the very, very best. And even then, it's like we just about make it over the line. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I think he'll definitely see. These games and think we like, for example, Sanchez. I don't think he had a bad game at all. I think for his standards he played well, but like there are so many opportunities where like he's on the ball or he's in possession, and like a better player can find it, like, or someone more comfortable on the ball could do something different, where he just panics a lot of the time and he's unsure of himself. So I think definitely he'll be looking at that and thinking there's some players in this squad, or there's some positions where we could definitely need to use some competition or some new fresh blood.
Even Dyer, that's a 2-0 game for me. That's not a 2-1 game.
Yeah.
Because that goal was a gift. Dyer gives the ball out to no one. It goes back. Player puts him on his ass and he scores. But there's no way that ball should be coming back to him. No. Like, your goalkeeper's right there. Reggie's over there. Like, why are you playing through the centre of that? So, and that's a classic case with Dyer. Like, 90% of the time, he's absolutely perfect.
And then does that
as a mistake.
And
it's maybe get him in a mental coach, get something in to like make him like focus. We're 2 up, we're controlling the game. Yeah. Don't put a ball. They always tell you as a kid, don't put it straight through the centre. It's the easiest way to close. You'll be right in trouble again.
If they get it, and that's exactly what happened with the goal. In terms of the 2 goals we scored, great play from Bergwijn in both goals, and actually as well, it was great to see Lucas and Lucas and Bergwijn both getting in like kind of poachers position to score, and that was really positive because we don't usually see them in those kind of positions. We're very used to seeing them out wide and not kind of running into the box and like trying to get on the end of things. So that was really, really positive. And I think we seem to look grow in terms of the formations we're playing in 3-4-3 or 3-5-2, and signs are low on both of them.
Yeah, and I thought Lloris was fantastic. I think Lloris kept us in the game in the first
Lloris,
first half.
Good shout for man of the match.
Just solid. And I think look, we've come through a tough cup tie, a proper cup tie.
Difficult.
And I think it's another win. It's another game on the unbeaten run. It's like all positives. Like sure, it was butt clenching moments for the last 20 minutes, but that's probably more to do with our anxiety being Spurs fans and
than actually
dying for us to get through than actually what the players were going through. I thought in the last 10 minutes the centre defenders looked pretty comfortable. So, and I thought Tanganga coming on was okay and got a lot of time, but he was okay. I think in those dying stages, the dying embers of the game, you probably just want to hold on to the ball a little bit, see out the game. I've seen us do that against bigger teams. We did that against Man City. We're 1-0 up and we start just holding on to the ball and really nicely seeing out the game. Could have done that there, but obviously it's a cup tie. It's a crazy rainy night, in London. A lot of emotion. We've done well. I think you got to give props where it's due. We've had a good game there, and I'm actually buzzing off the back of that.
All right, so we're into the quarterfinals. So are Chelsea, so are Arsenal, and right now Liverpool and Leicester actually have a penalty shootout as things stand. So we're not sure yet which team are going through, but either way, how do you rate our chances in the Carabao? Even if it's Liverpool or Leicester going through, what do you think?
I'd prefer Leicester.
Obviously, it's
game to game. We've got a better record against Leicester, but
in terms of in general, who do you want in the semis? If let's say Liverpool win this, there's 2-1 to Leicester on penalties right now. They're just going through it, but
I would want Leicester in the semis, and
if we assume Liverpool win. Do you want Arsenal in the semi, or do you want to have Liverpool or Chelsea with hope to play Arsenal in the final?
Arsenal in the semis because I think that's an easier game for us to get.
Especially over 2 legs.
Yeah, and then anything can happen in a final, but I'd be happy to get Arsenal in the next game in this comp.
Do you think we have a good chance of winning it now?
Yeah, because I think we embarrassed ourselves beyond belief in the last game, and I think now you got Conte. I think they should watch that game, and I think they should just drill like crazy and go in with a murderer mentality, psychopathic mentality, and just shut them down. Just murder them, play how we're playing now. Go in with the 5-3-2, and just cut them open.
That's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping, that what we showed against Liverpool, we can prove to ourselves that we can play against these big sides in these big games, and hopefully that stands us in good stead when it comes to playing in these cup ties, because this is a trophy, despite it being the League Cup. I think every Spurs fan is so desperate to win, and we're just desperate for a trophy to get over the line. Now we're in a semi-final again now, and let's just hope we don't falter at one of the final hurdles yet again. But look, with Chelsea, Liverpool and Arsenal or Leicester waiting, it's still a long way to go, isn't it?
It's a tough, but this is the credibility of this comp, the top teams get to the final.
Despite all their changes, they're still getting there, aren't they, the top teams?
Yeah. So that's why I always kind of put a little bit more credibility on this than any conference league thing. This, if you win this, look at the teams you had to beat. Look at the games we've had to win so far. To do this. These are tough games. We've had to come through a bit of a tough run. So there's pride in this tournament.
All right. Well, the penalties are still going on between Liverpool and Leicester. I think Leicester actually just missed one, have they?
Yeah, I think Liverpool just saved one.
Oh, that's not good. So it looks like Liverpool are going to be heading through. But that is the end of the stream. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Really, really appreciate everyone's super chats and comments and being with us, for following all the action. It's been a great game. We obviously have the post-match fan show coming up straight after this, so don't go anywhere. But Brains, thank you for joining me for the watch-along as always.
Pleasure.
Great having you in.
No release, no longer clinching, so it's all good.
And looking forward to speaking to some fans.
Absolutely.
All right. Thank you for joining us again. Like, subscribe and comment. And as always, come on, you Spurs.